Hi everyone, this is Daria Piano. I'm back with a new video for you, and today will be about chords. Someone has suggested on the channel that I make a video on this topic, and I thought it was a great idea, and I can make it into another mini series with a few episodes. And I'm filming in my house today with this wonderful Christmas tree and a lot of snow outside. It's very cold. And because school is closed for the break, I can't get into a practice room, so we're going to be seeing my old friend Yamaha CLP 745. In this series, I will talk about 5 main challenges that playing chords presents for you, and how to tackle these challenges and how to practice for each of those individually. I'll show you many different ways in separate videos. But for this first one, I'm just going to tell you what those challenges are, and those are chosen by me. Of course, there can be many more challenges that you might encounter, but these I consider to be the most important. And I will show you some general tricks and tips on how to practice chords. And in the last chapter, I will show you some examples of different types of textures that can use chords and how to approach them. So the main challenges that I consider to be the most important when playing chords are, first and foremost, simultaneous attack of 3 or more fingers in such a way where they don't sound like, but it's at the same time. That's first and foremost. Second has to do with voicing a chord, and I will explain later what voicing a chord means. But in short, it's when you have to highlight one of the notes in the chord more than others in a different dynamic, or perhaps it could be a different articulation as well. The third challenge has to do with choosing comfortable fingering. Just like in a separate one note line, it all applies, those rules apply to choosing fingerings for chords. And it's even more challenging because you could have multiple combinations, different combinations. You need to approach it thoroughly and thoughtfully so you don't end up in a very uncomfortable position. The fourth one has to do with the accuracy of your control over the line that is represented by chords. Because oftentimes you have a melodic line that is presented not by a single note, but rather by chords. And you have to make sure that you're controlling all 4 notes instead of just 1 note at a time, so it's much more challenging. And the last one I'm going to mention is the character of the chord that you want to produce. Some of them can be very powerful and majestic and grand and large and heavy, and others can be quite light and fast moving, and this requires a very different approach, a very different intention from your hand, from your finger, and from your mind, from your ear. So you have to be aware that they are different. All right, I'm going to show you some quick technique on how to practice approaching chords. One way is simply to make sure that you are transferring all the weight, and it's a very light but deep attack where you're not doing this. You're not trying to play forte, you're trying to play like a mezzo piano, but you're making sure that you're deep into the keys, and you can even hang your wrist here. So make sure up and down, you really are solid. It's a very simple exercise, and you can move to the next one. And when you do that slowly, you need to make sure that you're relaxing after every one. When you go up, you relax, and then you're getting ready again, and you play again. Getting ready to play again. Important is not to go too high between them. Even when you relax, don't go here. You need to be close to the key. Generally. Second way to approach playing this is to activate your fingers, and that way I'm going to show you a simple try it, but just like this, right? You can do the jump from the key. Don't go from above, not like this, but you are going to jump up staccato, but you're going to jump from the key. You're going to attack right on the key, right from here. See what I mean? From the key. I'm on the key, and then I'm grabbing like this. Boom, right? There we go. That activates my position, my claw. I make sure that this dome is up. Make sure it's not like this, because this, you can't do anything like this. You need to go up, and then each of your fingers is doing their job. And to practice that claw, also what you can do is to activate each individual finger is to simply, very simple exercise, could be 4 notes. If it's 4-note chord, it's like this. So you hold the note, 4 notes, and then one at a time. You can do 2 or 3 times each. Each of the fingers will move up. Oops. Like this, right? You can try different combinations where 2 fingers are moving and 2 fingers are staying. This too. And you will notice that sometimes some fingers are better suited for each other and striking at the same time, and for some it's very difficult. The pair, for example, these two are going to be difficult, more difficult than these. So make sure you activate each finger. Another way to get really a good hold of your position, and the reason why we need to get a good hold of position is because we need to quickly regroup when we travel here or here. Let's say here, right? Or this, anything. We quickly need to regroup in the air while we relax and quickly regroup. And in order to regroup quickly, we need to make sure that our position, our hand really remembers position very solid. So we're going to use all different ways to ensure that our position is well in our hand. Another way to do it is like this. You just basically practice different combinations of these. You can practice all 3 notes at the same time, and you practice a double attack like this. First attack is light, it's like a grace note, and second attack is stronger. Same with the 4 notes. That way you're preparing first, you're getting into position lighter. Second time you really are grabbing the chord, jumping. Staccato. You can also do it like this. That gives you more accuracy. So you're a little bit more secure. And you can also do 3 ways. 3 chords. Yeah, I have some kind of rattling noise in the piano. I don't know what's going on. I think it's because I placed it in a different place and something moved or shifted. What this teaches you is how to play 3 or 2 or more chords on one gesture in one down up. So again, when you play a lot of chords or something that's repetitive, you're not going to do every chord. That's very tiring for your hand and absolutely inefficient. So you're going to have to learn to connect. And also it gives you a hierarchy, which chord is lighter. Not all of them are the same. So if you have the last chord to be more important, then you approach it like this. Or if opposite is, it's like a ricochet effect. So you learn to shape your chords. Jumps. If you have chords that include jumps, I don't know, something like this. That's it, right? Or even here. And it has to be quick. Something like this, right? Or the right hand. And the farther the jump, the harder it is, obviously. So you need to make sure that you have first firm grip of the position. So you practice, if that's the same position, good, then it's the same position just here. So you make sure that you are relaxing, quickly moving, and then grabbing that again. So the grip is like this. You're taking from the key rather than landing like this. You make sure you control your landing. You're grabbing that position, right? Even if it's a chord you need to stay in it, you still need to grab it and stay. It's like you're landing with those rubber things that suck you in, right? And another thing you need to worry about is making sure that you are accurately preparing for your landing. You have exactly, you're aiming right. And that way you can practice is quickly go and land. Take your time. Prepare quick, but take your time before you land to be really accurate. A third thing you can practice is, of course, separate voicing. Meaning that, for example, if you have 4 notes are involved in accurate landing, we need to practice first just one note individually. So 5 to 5. Sorry. Then 1 to 1. Then you can practice each of the fingers, of course. And then the combinations, let's say octaves, most obvious choice. And then maybe with this one, sorry,
sorry, that's the wrong chord. I forgot which one. Bending. Well, in any case, you can do this depending on what the chords are. Right? Two hands at the same time with those jumps. Then you can just simply practice like this. You can practice the outer voices first. Then do the octaves. Then, of course, you can do thumbs too. Oh, oopsies. Oops. Thumbs are harder for me. Okay. And if you have melody hidden in the chords, for example, in top voice, something like this, I would practice the melody alone with the fingers that you're going to use eventually for that melody, and then you could something like this. That way you separate your attack, this kind of attack versus this lighter, much lighter. So that way you give different emphasis to different parts of chord, which will lead to exactly the shape of the melody that you want. This was brief, but please continue into my next video to know more about chords, what challenges they present, and how to tackle those with some examples. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. I will see you in the next video, and happy holidays. Bye. A great way to practice is closing your eyes, but